Republic Act No. 6728, an act providing government assistance to students and teachers in private education and appropriating funds thereof. Section 1. Title: This act shall be known as the Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education Act. Section 2. Declaration of Policy. It is declared policy of the state in conformity with the mandate of the Constitution to promote and make quality education accessible to all Filipino citizens. The state also hereby recognizes the complementary roles of public and private educational institutions in the educational system and the invaluable contribution that the private schools have made and will make to education. For these purposes, the state shall provide the mechanism to improve quality in private education by maximizing the use of existing resources of private educations, recognizing in the process and the government's responsibility to provide basic elementary and secondary educations as having the priority over its function to provide the higher education. Criteria for assistance. The programs for assistance shall be based on the set of criteria which shall include, among others, tuition fees charged by the school, the socio-economic needs of each region, overall the performance of the schools, the academic qualifications, and the financial needs of students, as well as the geographic spread of student populations. For the purposes of this act, programs of assistance of students of private post-secondary education shall likewise be extended to students of community colleges and students and non-degree programs, including the vocational and technical courses. Implementations of the program shall encourage students to undergo tertiary education in same region where their families reside. Section 4. Forms of assistance to private educational education shall consist of tuition fee supplements for students in private high school, including students in vocational and technical courses. High school textbook assistance fund, provided that students in public school shall be provided a comprehensive textbook program under the Secondary Development Program. Expansion of existing educational services constructing scheme. The voucher system of the private education students. Scholarship grants as valedictorians and salutatorian students graduating the secondary school. Tuition fees supplements of the students in private colleges and university. Education loan fund and the college faculty development fund. Section 5. Tuition fee supplement for students in private high school. Financial assistance for tuition for students in private high school shall be provided by the government through a voucher system in the following matter. For students enrolled in schools charging less than 1,500 pesos per year in tuition and other fees during school year 1988 to 1989 or such amounts in subsequent years as may be determined from the time to time by the State Assistant Council. For students enrolled in school and charging above 1,500 pesos per year in tuition, other less than during the school year 1988 to 1989, or such amount in subsequent years as may be determined from the time to time the State Assistance Council. New assistance for tuition fees shall be granted by the government. Section 6. High School Textbook Assistance Fund. This shall be established the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports High School Textbook Assistance Fund so that an assistant on a per-student basis shall be given to private school charging less than 1,500 pesos for 1988 to 1989 per year, or such amount in subsequent years as may be determined from time to time by the State Assistant Council, exclusively for the purchase of high school textbooks in support of the implementations of the Secondary Education's Development Program. It is provided that such fund shall be used for the purchase of books that will advance or inhibit sectarian interest, provided further that the such textbooks are included in the list approved by the Department of Education, Culture, and Arts. Section 7. Expansions of existing educational services constructing camp. The Department of Education, Culture, and Sports shall continue to enter into contract with private schools whereby the government shall shoulder the tuitions and other fees of existing students in public high school who shall enroll under this program. It shall settle all outstanding obligations before constructing new obligations. In the department shall also enter into contract with private school in communities where there are no public high school, in which case the department shall shoulder the tuitions and other fees of students who shall enroll said private schools. The number of such schools assisted by the program will be increased every year such that all schools in the category will be assisted within 4 years from the promulgations of this act. Section 8. Assistance to college freshmen. The voucher system or private education students financial assistance program. Such financial assistance shall be granted to deserving underprivileged students who shall be selected on the basis of family income, geographic spread, and results of the competitive examinations to be given by the Department of Education, Culture, and Arts to students in all secondary school. The voucher system of private education students financial assistance program. Tuition waiver. Tuition waiver, private colleges and university shall provide for full or half tuition waivers for 5% of the entering freshmen. We shall include among others valedictorians and salutatorians of both public high schools and private high schools charging less than 1,500 pesos per student per year as of school year 1988 to 1989, or such amounts of subsequent years as may be determined by the State Assistant Council. Allowance of valedictorians. subject to rules and regulations as may be promulgated by the State of Assistant Council. Valedictorians referred to under paragraph B above may be, in addition to tuition waiver granted by the school concerned, be entitled to such allowances from the government as are provided to the PISFA grantees, provided they shall enroll in priority courses. Allowance for other honorees. In case the graduating class is composed of more than 250 students, all salutatorians and first honorable mention graduates thereof may also be entitled to the allowance granted to valedictorians under the preceding paragraphs. Section 9. Further assistance to students in private colleges and universities. For re-enrolling students in priority programs in schools charging an effective per unit tuition rate of 80 pesos or less per unit or such amount in subsequent years as may be determined by the State Assistance Council. For the students in school charging an effective per unit tuition rate of more than 80 pesos per unit or such as amount in subsequent years as may be determined from the time to time by the Senate Assistance Council. Schools with accredited programs charging a tuition rate of less than 80 pesos per unit or such amount in subsequent years as may be determined from the time to time by the State Assistance Council. Government assistance and tuitions in courses as described is in this section shall be governed by the same conditions as provided under Sections 5. Section 10. Consultations. In any purpose increase in the rate of tuition fee shall be appropriate consultation conducted by the school administration with the duly organized parents and teachers associations and faculty associations with respect to secondary schools, and with students' governments or councils, alumni, and faculty associations with respect colleges. For these purposes, dated financial statements shall be made available to authorized representatives of these sections. Every effort shall be exerted to reconcile possible preferences. In case of disagreement, the alumni associations of the school or any impartial body of their choosing shall act as arbitrator. Section 11. Educational Loan Fund. Study now, pay later. This is hereby created a special fund to be known as the Students' Loan Fund, to be administered by the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports, or upon delegations by the departments by the Students' Loan Fund Authority created under Republic Act No. 6014, which is hereby reinstituted pursuant to the items of the same Republic Act, which shall be used to finance educational loans to cover matriculations and other school fees and educational expenses for book, subsistence, and board and lodging. Amounts covering payments for tuition, matriculations, and other fees shall be paid directly to the school concerned. Any loan granted under the section shall be paid by the student's debtor after he has finished the course or professions for which the proceeds of the loan was expended, but only a period of 2 years from the time he has acquired an employment. Social Security Fund. The purpose of improving the quality. I know. Section 12. Limitation. The right of students to avail himself to the benefits under this act shall not apply if he fails for one school year in the majority of academic subjects in which he has enrolled during the course of his studies, unless such failure is due to some valid cause beyond his control, and if he enrolls for the first time or transfer outside of the region where he is domiciled, unless the course he wants to pursue is a priority course as determined by the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports is not offered in any private school in his region. College Faculty Development Fund. The purposes of improving the quality of teaching in higher education, there is hereby established in the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports a College Faculty Development Fund to provide for scholarship for graduate degrees and non-degree workshop or seminars for faculty members in private colleges and universities. For the purposes of improving the quality of teaching in higher education, there is hereby established in the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports Section 14. Program and Administration Rules and Regulations. The State Assistant Council shall be responsible for policy guidance and directions, monitoring and evaluations of new existing programs, and the promulgations of rules and regulations, while the Department of Education, Culture, and Sport shall be responsible for the day-to-day administration and program implementation. Likewise, it may engage the service and support of any qualified government or private entity for its implementations. The Council shall meet from time to time as the need arises to assess the effectivity of the programs and to ensure that schools, colleges, and universities where students recipients are enrolled continue to provide quality education. For this purpose, the Council shall establish criteria including accreditation status to determine which schools, colleges, and universities may continue enrolled students who are recipients of government assistance under this Act. Section 15. Appropriations. Portions of the coconut levies authorized under the Republic Act No. 620 and Presidential Decree No. 1468 and other laws earmarked to finance scholarship for the benefits of the serving children of the coconut farmers and the income thereof. 20% of the tribal tax and airport departure tax collections. 10% of any funds collected by the Sugar Regulatory Administration or the Philippine Coconut Authority for students in provinces where they collected are 10% of the net income of Department Bank of the Philippines. Portions of the Overseas Welfare Fund to benefit the dependents or children of overseas workers and any other lump sum appropriations or collections under the supervision and control of the Office of the President. Section 16. Penalties. In case any violations of the provisions of this Act or the rules and regulations promulgated pursuant thereto by an institution, the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports, upon the recommendations of Council, may bar the institution from participating in or benefiting from the program of this Act and from other programs of the Department without prejudice to administrative and criminal charges as may be filed against the school or its responsible officer under 16 laws. Section 17. Replacing clause. All laws and decrees, particular Presidential Decree number 932 and 1371 and such letters for instructions, rules and regulations or parts thereof which are inconsistent with this act are hereby repealed or modified accordingly. Section 810 Separability Clause. If any provisions of this act is declared unconstitutional, the same shall not affect the validity and effectivity of the other provisions that affected thereby. Section 19. Effectivity Clause. This act shall take effect immediately upon its publications in English, an English newspaper, and in Filipino newspaper, both of general circulations. Is approved on June 10, 1989. Private Education Students Fund Assistance and or PISPA, a scholarship program offered by the Philippine government which offers educational grants to qualified and deserving college freshmen both in degree and non-degree courses. Programs. 1-year programs, the operator. 2 years program or the correspondence. The 3 years program or the technician. Federations of Accrediting Agency of the Philippines. By the Philippine News as established in 1977 and is authorized commissions on higher education to certify the quality levels of accreditation programs at the tertiary level of the purposes of the granting progressive deregulations and other benefits. Philippine Association of Colleges and University Commission of Accreditation. The Quinta Catholic College, Calayan Educational Foundation Inc., Colegio de San Juan de Letran Calamba, First Asia Institute of Technology and Humanities, Golden Gate Colleges, Immaculate Conception College, and IMUS Institute. And that's all. Thank you.